PMDD partners, welcome to another episode of the In Love with PMDD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Rose Alcatan, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist. And being that I have PMDD, I have chosen to specialize my practice in helping PMDD partners to stop the monthly breakups. Each week, I will be providing you with my signature trauma transformational tools. Now, let's get into this week's episode. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about cuffing season. It is finally here. And for those of you who do not know what cuffing season is in the realms of relationships, it is that time of the year, typically in the colder months, the fall and the winter, when people feel a stronger desire to be coupled up, cuddled up, and in a committed relationship. And not just in a committed relationship, but in a happy, committed relationship. And this is when I get a lot of my private clients really come in and tell me how much they are struggling within their PMDD relationships because of the fact that when you're in a PMDD relationship and it's cuffing season and there's all of these events going on and there's all of these things where you're supposed to show up at events as a couple, you're supposed to go to events with your family. It's like you cannot hide the issues that you have with your PMDD partner during cuffing season because you're around so many other individuals, you're around so many other people. And if you and your PMDD partner are not seeing eye to eye during this season, it's very obvious. So, I always say how PMDD rips the blanket off of all of the issues that you have with your PMDD partner. This is especially true during cuffing season because you're wanting to go to these events and show that you're loving because you want other individuals to support your relationships, your friends, your family. And if you're off, they can tell that you're off. So say you go to an event with your partner, that's a family event. There's Thanksgiving here in the US, which I've talked on other episodes how apparently that's not a thing in other countries. I know I have private clients in over 60 countries. So if it's not cold there, it still may be that cupping season because you have Christmas, you have Kwanzaa, you have all of these Hanukkah, you have all of these other holidays that happen with families. And you're going to the event and you're fighting in the car. You're fighting on the way to the event. You're not speaking to each other at the event. You're fighting on the way back. You're going to bed, like facing the other wall. You're facing the wall, they're facing the door. There's no intimacy. And it's almost like this thing of throughout the year where you've been able to kind of ignore it. You've been able to just go on autopilot and just deal with your day-to-day issues and you not really have to deal with things in your PMDD relationship. During cuffing season, that's not a thing because people are going to start to ask, hey, are you and your partner okay? Is everything okay with you and John? Like, I see that you guys weren't sitting next to each other, or I see that you guys aren't looking at each other. I see that you guys, there's some tension. People can feel what's going on in your PMDD relationship more than what you can say. So then you put yourself in that awkward position where you're trying to explain to them, yeah, I have PMDD or my partner has PMDD and we've really been going through it. And then of course, they're like, what's PMDD? So then you're even more annoyed because you're trying to explain to them about something that they really don't understand. And you start complaining to them about, yeah, it's been tough, man, or yeah, girl, it's been tough. And they're just like, oh, well, I wouldn't put up with that. And then now you're at these family events and you're having to defend your relationship, like I talked about before. But cuffing season is really supposed to be a time where when it's colder outside, you're supposed think of the Hallmark movies. Like think of those times where they're just having the hot chocolate, they're like hibernating together, they have their cozy pajamas on, and you're feeling warm and safe and secure with your partner. And it's that desire to do it. It's in every single PMDD relationship where you're feeling like your partner should be more supportive. And that puts a lot of pressure on your partner to show up because, the one with PMDD is like saying, I need you to do this more. I need this more. And they're needing that more because during cuffing season, it's more obvious if you're not getting that support. Like if you're constantly doing everything yourself, you're doing all the chores, you're taking care of all the kids, you're handling everything all on your own, you feel like you're tired of asking, begging, negotiating to get that support from your PMDD partner, you start to think maybe I should just do this alone. Right. So in the cuffing season, you just get to a point where you're just like, I need a certain level of support from my PMDD partner. And if they don't give it to me, I'm out. Like this is when the PMDD monthly breakups, they kind of like amp up because it's so much more obvious when you don't have that kind of like intimacy, when you don't have that connection. Because if it's cuffing season, which is when you're supposed to be lean in and loving with your partner the most, and you don't have that, you're going to start to ask yourself in PMDD, why am I even in the relationship? Why am I with this person if we're not kissing and we're not hugging and we're not holding hands? This is the only affection is the only thing that separates a regular relationship, like a friendship, from an intimate relationship. So if the intimacy is gone, it's going to be very obvious and you're going to be very dissatisfied. And that dissatisfaction is going to cause you to want to have those breakups. And I mean this for the partner that has PMDD and for the partner that doesn't have PMDD. And so during cuffing season, it's normally colder weather, right? It's encouraging more indoor activities and like cozying up to someone. Like maybe you want to watch more shows together. Maybe you want to have more game nights with the kids. Maybe you want to cook in the house instead of always eating out because maybe you just want to stay in. Also, it's the holiday season, right? The desire for companionship. You have all of these festive, family gatherings and events, and you're wanting to show people I'm with a good person. It's almost this proving mindset. It's like, hey, I'm with this really supportive person. I'm really with this really good person. And so, if you go to these events and your family and your friends start to question your relationship, you're going to be even more pissed off with your partner because you're going to be like, this was our chance. This was our chance to show them that we're in a good relationship. This was our chance. So if they do anything and say anything that pretty much gives a glimpse of how your relationship is going and or not going in PMDD, you're going to be even more pissed off with them. I had this happen one time with an ex PMDD partner, and they met with my sister and they just like started saying all of these things about our relationship. Yeah, we're going through it. And yeah, it's not good. And all of these things. And I was so mortified, not because what they were saying wasn't true, but it was like, I didn't want to let my friends and family know like how unhappy we really were in the relationship. And it was kind of like forcing us to come to terms with like, what are we doing? Like, and I know you get into those mindsets with your PMDD partner where you're like, what are we doing? Why are we here? What are we even fighting for? Because the affection, the attention, the validation, those things are what solidifies your PMDD relationship. So a lot of times when I work with you privately, I try to get to the root of like, what is that block? What is that wall that you have up or your partner has up to that thing that's stopping you from getting that affection, that attention, that validation? Not getting physical affection, not getting physical intimacy, not getting emotional intimacy with your PMDD partner is one of the most damaging things because you feel so alone. You're in this relationship, but you feel lonely. And that is the most torturous place to be because you're thinking to yourself, I'm not single. I'm actually in a relationship, but it doesn't feel like it. My love tank is completely depleted. I don't feel like I'm supported. I'm suffering with these symptoms, or my partner's suffering with these symptoms, and it's like everything's about them. And so you're having all of these complaints, and it's all because cuffing season is really just bringing all of your issues to the forefront. And you're really recognizing the state of your relationship. It's almost like a relationship checkup of like, hey, where are you? Like, are you communicating? Are you being loving? Does it feel good? And I would ask yourself that. Like, I've noticed a big shift in my energy since it's been cuffing season because I am so loving in cuffing season because I'm so affectionate. I'm so loving. I'm so attentive and all of these things. And I'm really wanting to pour that into someone. And it's the urge is there even more. Like I woke up this morning and I was like, Alexa, play John Legend, good morning. And it's like, good morning, love. Like it's a sense of intimacy that you want to have when you're waking up and you're not just waking up and just hopping out of bed and doing all your chores, doing your to-do list and blah, blah. You want to cuddle. There's nothing more satisfying than being in bed, waking up, and then your partner kind of like pulling you closer to them. Like you're about to get up, you're about to get out of the bed, and they're pulling you closer to them. They're nestling up in your neck, like behind you. They're spooning you. They're kissing you on your neck and making love in the morning on a cold winter morning, fall morning is one of the most comforting things that you will ever experience. Not because and I don't want to over sexualize it and say that it has to be sex, but I mean like Sex is amazing, orgasms are amazing. And I feel like a lot of times you can get into the relationship and you can start to use intimacy as a tool, like they don't deserve this, right? But if you're stopping your partner from having intimacy with you, you're actually on the lower end of the totem pole because you're not getting that intimacy either. Like as you're shutting off the wall from them being intimate with you, you're not getting that amazing feeling either. That feeling of safety, that feeling of security, that feeling of it really resets you. And I've talked about this before. I believe the episode was called like the magic pill for your PMDD relationship. That's exactly what it was called. And it's when you have kind of that intimacy with your partner and you shut off the world and all of the crap that you've been dealing with, and you just have a moment where you're connecting. You need those moments when you've been having consistent fights, when you've been having consistent arguments. You need something that is going to reset you and remind you why you're with your PMDD partner. And I'm pretty sure in the beginning of your relationship, it was, that affection, that attention, that connection, that chemistry was there. Because those are the things that make you feel like I can do this. It kind of resets you like I can do this. I can deal with, whatever's going on in our PMDD relationship because I get this gift. You need to have this kind of reward system with your PMDD relationship of reminding you, like, I'm with this person because I have these moments of intimacy. And if those moments aren't there, it really is harder to do the work and work on the issues when you're not getting your needs met. And by needs, it could be like words of affirmation. We always talk about the love languages. It may be that you need your partner to speak life into you, tell you how amazing you are, tell you how much they appreciate you, tell you how much they love you and care about you and cherish you and adore you. And for some people, words don't mean nothing. And they're kind of like, I've heard words, they don't mean nothing because it's actions, it's acts of service. I need you to take some things off of my plate. Some of the things in cuffing season could be like you're shoveling the snow for them, or you're helping get the kids out the door, or you're doing more of the chores, or you're looking at their plate. I always say if you're trying to look for a way to pour into your partner, look at what they deal with on a day-to-day basis. And if you're taking notes, just think about this, visualize this. What does my partner deal with on a day-to-day basis? And then what can I do to take some things off of their plate? Because the last thing that your PMDD partner wants to do is have to tell you what to do in order to meet their needs. It's something about feeling like your partner is so intuitive. They're so in tune to you that they kind of can anticipate your needs because it shows that level of care and concern of like they're paying attention to what I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And they're really like in tune with that. That is so sexy, so attractive, such a turn on to say, I don't have to tell my PMDD partner what to do. They're looking at what I have on my plate on a day-to-day basis and they're saying, I can take out the trash. I can take the kids to school. Babe, I'm going to go get the groceries. Like, give me your list. Is there anything that's on there? People who have love language that are acts of service, like my best friend does, like she will literally like be like, take my clothes off. If her man comes in and he's hands full of groceries and he's like, I'm gonna cook this dinner, like all of these things, because her love language is acts of service. For me, I'm like, no, like let's I'm like, let's connect. Like my love language, and I really love languages. I really recognize is physical touch. And I notice that in past relationships, it has to be physical touch with the right person. I have to feel safe. I have to feel secure in order for my true love languages to come out. Because I remember in past relationships where they were like, your love language is not physical touch. Like you're just into words. And it's like, I was into words because I was wanting them to make me feel safe and secure with their words so that I could open up physically. So a lot of times, if they were complaining that there was a lack of physical intimacy, it would, yeah, absolutely, because I didn't feel safe and secure. So when you don't feel safe and secure in your relationship, it's harder for you to express that intimacy in order for you to really enjoy this cuffing season. And one partner may be like, "Yeah, I don't care if we're on the same page or not. Like, let's be physical. Like, let's be intimate." And it's like it doesn't work like that for everyone. In order for you to fully enjoy cuffing season, you need to do an analysis of your PMDD partner and you and say, what is it that we need to fully enjoy this moment of reconnecting? What is it that we fully need? Because I'm the type of person, I don't like going to gatherings and I don't like going to outings and family outings if we have issues going on. I am the person that's going to say, we're going to stay home for this extra 30 minutes, this extra hour, and we're going to deal with whatever it is that is really going on. I'm not going to fake it till we make it. I'm not going to go to this event and fake like we're happy when I really have an issue with you. Like I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it. It's not healthy. That level of avoidance to your issues and just like, oh, let's just go and let's just show up and blah blah blah. No, no, absolutely not. I'm doing this person a disservice. Not only am I lying to you, I'm lying to all these people that I'm meeting. And like for some people, I know that they'll just go to the event and talk crap about their partner. And how is that doing anything better? Because even if you have sessions with me and then you end up being better, like you're like, oh, we're doing so much better this week. You've already talked crap about your partner at the event. You don't remember that. And then when they're like a week later, asking you, hey, is everything okay with you and John? Is everything okay with you and Rebecca? And they're like, oh, yeah, we're good. Like we had sessions with Dr. Rose, like we're good. And they're just like, oh, because, you did tell me that they're verbally, physically, emotionally abusive. And then you're like, crap. Yeah, deal with the issues before you get to the event. When you're going on these events, you don't want to have to defend yourself to other people, defend your relationships to other people because it's going to make this cuffing season hell. You're going to be like, I can't wait until my calendar is free because I don't want to keep going out with you. Like, I don't want to keep going out to these events and having to pretend like we're happy when we're really not. There's nothing like sleeping with the enemy and pretending like you're with Prince Charming. It's nothing like knowing that you despise your PMDD partner in that moment, not because they're a bad person, not because you don't want to be with them, not because you don't love them, but you're in that realm of you have so many issues that you're literally looking at them with fire dragon eyes. And you're just like, ugh, like it's annoying to have to do that. And you shouldn't have to do that. But what happens during cuffing season for PMDD partners and PMDD sufferers is for those of you that are single and ready to mingle, it is this increased pressure to find a partner. The societal pressure to find a partner during cuffing season, it's going to exasperate your feelings of low self-worth, of inadequacy, which are very common during the luteal phase. You already feel bad about yourself. And now you're going to feel even worse about yourself because you don't have a partner. Like I was feeling that. I was like, man, I was almost identifying the fact that I didn't have a partner because people will ask that. I hate that question. Like, oh my gosh, you seem so amazing. Why are you single? Because I'm single because I haven't found my person. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that there's this stamp of like there's something wrong with me, but I think you can really get into the mindset of that. You can really get into like, oh my gosh, if there's something wrong with me, like maybe it's my PMDD that's really just making me feel like I'm not deserving of a relationship. You already feel bad about yourself in PMDD and you start to, focus on why you're not in a relationship. If I was really that great, I would be in a relationship. You're starting to identify yourself as a lonely person, like all of these things, and it highlights that. Would I love now? I'm not the type of person. I'm not the traditional type of person that wants to be in like matching pajamas. I did that. Oh my gosh, I did that 2 years ago when I was like in matching pajamas in front of the tree. And it's so cringy because I hate doing things that everybody else is doing. Um, that I did it because I thought it would like make me feel better, but I don't want that. I want to be on a boat somewhere. I want to be on a yacht. I want to be in another country. I want to be traveling with my person. Like it looks differently for everybody. So I would say during cuffing season, you have this pressure because everybody's going to be posting their matching pajamas on Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, all the things. They're going to be putting pictures of their big family dinners and you're sitting there alone. You know what I mean? So another thing that this cuffing season can do is it can heighten emotional vulnerability. PMDD sufferers already have mood swings. We already have irritability. We already have sensitive to rejection. but it's going to be intensified by the desire to connect with our partner. We're wanting a supportive PMDD partner. I want to grab my PMDD partner's hand and like walk somewhere and like, yeah, we're doing this and we're doing that and like there's a level of fulfillment in that. You get a dopamine hit. You feel good about your relationship, especially if you've been working on it. Like you feel that level of satisfaction. Like I've worked hard. Like maybe you've done sessions with me, and then now you can go to these events and you can like really just talk about how amazing your partner is. So the next thing that can happen is if you're in cuffing season, if you have a new or existing relationship during cuffing season, you may realize that a lot of the symptoms that your PMDD partner has, or the partner, with PMDD, like the irritability or the rage, it is going to be more prevalent because there's more pressure, there's more events, there's more stress, there's more anxiety. And what does stress do? It exasperates your PMDD symptoms. And so you're going to get into the realm of recognizing how much PMDD is impacting your relationship even more. So for the partner that doesn't have PMDD, you're going to be in the mindset of, can I really do this? I don't really know if I'm a good PMDD partner. I don't know if I can handle this. If they go off on me one more time, I'm going to feel like I want to go ham and cheese on that biscuit. And then I'm going to be the problem. Like you're feeling like, I don't know if this is healthy for me. I don't know if I should stay in this relationship. This is where the PMDD monthly breakups really come in, because you're just like, I'm depleted. Like, I don't know if I can go another month. And if you're in that place, you really need to go to inlovewithpmdd.com, get those PMDD relationship reset sessions, because you have to reset. You're going to get burnt out month after month after month, week after week after week, day after day after day of dealing with PMDD. You're going to get burnt out. And if you don't reset yourself, if you don't reset your relationship, if you don't reset and get some new tools, some fresh tools for what you're presently going through in your PMDD relationship that are customized to what you're going on, you're going to potentially want to break up. And then it's going to be a situation where you're not necessarily breaking up, but you're beating yourself up for not breaking up. You're like, what are you doing? Why are you here? That's the ego speaking, by the way. That's like, what are you doing in this relationship? You deserve so much better than this. And you're not even going to have anything to counter that, because it's going to be like, yeah, I actually do deserve better than this. Like, if you're not doing things to help your PMDD relationship, it's really going to put you in that place where you're going to feel like I should just break up. And it's nothing like breaking up during the holidays. I did that this time last year. And I really did that this time last year because of cuffing season, now that I think about it, because I went on a trip to Mexico and I was surrounded by all of these people that were, coupled up and all these things. And things were so bad with me and my ex that he was like, I'm going home with my family. Like we weren't married. He was like, I'm going home with my family. I'm going to enjoy this time. Then he didn't even want to spend the holidays with me. That's how miserable we were. And I really, that was a wake up call for me. I was like, dang, like he's not even going to want to spend the holidays. Like he's not even going to want to work through the issues. And that was a wake up call for me, where I was like, no, 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 we really need to work on our issues if we're not even going to spend the holidays together. So if you find yourself in that similar situation, like be mindful, be careful, because that was the end. That was the beginning of the end, because it was like a culmination of everything that had gone on for our whole relationship. I was like, it's gotten so bad to where we're now spending holidays separate. Like, who does that? Like, what are you telling your family and friends? Like, where are you telling them that I'm at, where we're just not spending the holidays together? Because it led to a lot of loneliness and isolation. I was so lonely. I felt so isolated. I felt like I had all of these needs, and they weren't getting met. And it's nothing like being lonely when you're in a relationship. It is the worst feeling ever, because you're staring at a person who could meet your needs, who at one time met your needs, and they're just choosing not to, or they're so depleted that they can't, that it makes you so dissatisfied with your relationship. And when you go into PMDD, what is that going to make you want to do? Break up, because you're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel isolated. You're going to be like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? What's the point of being here? If I'm spending Christmas, 2024 like this, Christmas 2025, if it's all downhill from here. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And if you're single, cuffing season is going to highlight those feelings of loneliness. I am there. I don't want to say I'm not lonely. I'm not lonely, but I do desire to have someone to share all of this love. I feel like I'm bursting with love during this thing, because I keep doing things, like I'm out and about, and I'm traveling a lot. Like I actually have a flight in like 2 hours to go to LA for a concert and an event. And I just would love to just have a partner that's like on the plane with me, holding hands, and just we're going to go to this event. We're going to have fun. Like, even if it's a short staycation, or like, I want that. I desire that. I deserve that. And it just highlights it because it's like, yeah, I would love to be cozy with my person doing all the traveling that I'm doing, but I'm traveling and I'm alone. And it's just like, that's why community is so important. I'm going to be creating something within the new year that is really going to help with the community aspect of PMDD partners and PMDD sufferers, specifically in relationships that are not thinking about breaking up. And I do have a course that's really going to help you. It's going to be released on my birthday, November 29th, which is also Black Friday. Like, that's crazy. My birthday, it's been a while since my birthday has been on Black Friday, but the course that I've been talking about that is really going to help PMDD partners and PMDD sufferers is going to be released on my birthday, November 29th, on Black Friday. And it's really going to help you during this holiday season. I'm really excited to be able to provide something for you because one of the main things that the cuffing season brings is holiday stress for PMDD partners and PMDD sufferers. The holidays that coincide with the cuffing season, it's going to add stress to you. It makes your PMDD symptoms harder to manage, and it makes the relationship issues harder to manage, especially if you have seasonal affective disorder, otherwise known as seasonal depression. I don't have it, but my partner had it. And when I tell you, I saw the suffering that happened during this season, and it was so hard because they overlap with it. They intensify the emotional strain. The communication is harder because your mood is down, your mood is low, it's getting darker earlier. You're not feeling like you're really wanting to do things. So if you're the one that has the seasonal depression, the cyclical mood swings and irritability can worse with PMDD because you're combining it with your PMDD already gives you depression. It's like, I already got the t-shirt. And when you have seasonal depression, it's even worse because it's like the seasons are pulling the depression out of you. And for your partner who may not have, like it was me, I didn't have seasonal depression, but I felt overwhelmed by the heightened emotional needs or the withdrawal from my PMDD partner. I felt overwhelmed that they needed more attention, they needed more affection, they needed more validation. And it's almost like no matter how much I gave them, it wasn't enough. Or you could have the kind of PMDD partner that withdraws and they kind of shut down during that luteal phase and they're just wanting to be in this hole and you're just sitting there like wanting them to connect with you and they just don't have the energy to do it because they have that seasonal depression. And for the PMDD sufferer, if you already have decreased energy, fatigue, which I struggle with so much during my luteal phase, seasonal depression is going to make it worse for you. You're going to have the fatigue from SAD, from the seasonal depression, and it's going to overlap with the physical and emotional exhaustion of PMDD. So it's going to reduce the energy that you're going to have in kind of maintaining your relationship. You may start to cancel events. You may start saying, no, babe, I can't do it. And then there's this bitterness and resentment towards your partner who may have the energy. If they don't have seasonal depression, they may have the energy to go to these things, but it's almost like they want to go, but they want to go when you're in your best energy. And if you can't elicit that, if you can't pull that out of you, there's a level of bitterness and resentment that's there. Cause it's like, I wish I was with a partner that didn't have seasonal depression. I wish that I was with a partner that didn't have PMDD because then we could go to the events. You see all of these people having a good time. And what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. Because you're like, why can't I be in a relationship and be having a good time? Why can't I be in a relationship and we're connected? And then it's that heightened risk of miscommunication. Communication is really hard when you mix PMDD and seasonal depression. Because if you have irritability and your partner's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You may not want to talk about it, or you may have these reactive behaviors, or you may have more rage because you have all of these intrusive thoughts and things going on in your mind. So I really want to let you know that during cuffing season, there's a lot of things that can impact your PMDD relationship, the seasonal depression, the feelings of loneliness, and all of these things. So I'm pre-booking my calendar for the month of December. So if you've not booked your sessions, please book them now because once my calendar fills up, I will not be able to take additional clients, but you can, look forward to what's going to be released on November 29th. Make sure that you're in my mailing list. If you're not a part of my mailing list, you can just you can DM me on Instagram and Dr. Rose _ in love with PMDD, or you can email me rose@inlovewithpmdd.com to be added to the mailing list, because there is going to be a special price for the program that I'm going to release, and it's only going to be for a limited amount of time. So if you're in that place where you're in cuffing season, you know you're feeling it, you're feeling that push, you're feeling that pull, get those private sessions, the PMDD relationship reset sessions. And until next time, we got this. I love you. I hope this PMDD episode helped you and your partner in your struggles within your relationship. And if this is something that you know that you need help with and you need further support, individualized support, make sure you're going to inlovewithpmdd.com and you're getting those private sessions to really work through what you're going through in your relationship, specifically in regards to PMDD. And also, I want you to leave a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. What this does is it helps other PMDD sufferers and partners find this show that can help them get these free PMDD relationship tools. I remember what it felt like to not know that there were tools out there specifically for PMDD relationships. So I want to make sure that you are sharing these tools with others, share them on your social media, share them with people that you know that are also struggling in their PMDD relationships. Until next episode, this is Dr. Rose, your PMDD relationship psychotraumatologist. One more thing, I almost forgot. I now have the Fresh Start PMDD Partners Workbook. What this workbook can do is, if you've had past traumatic experiences with your partner, past fights, past arguments, and they keep coming up every single month in PMDD, I created a Fresh Start Workbook so that you can deal with all of the traumatic experiences that have happened in the past in PMDD rage and all of these things, so you can stop going through the same cycle again and again and again. So get that workbook. It comes with a video episode of the actual podcast that I recorded on getting a fresh start in your PMDD relationship, so you're not continuing the same cycle again and again and again. So make sure that you get that workbook. And if you need those individualized counseling sessions, you know where to go, inlovewithpmdd.com. Until next time, we got this. Love you.